Second.
Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This your buddy George Jones over here at the lair of the Fortress of Solitude, Part 2. And what we're going to talk about is the M1 rifle. But we're not going to talk about the M1 rifle in normal terms of what this little marking means and what that little marking means and so on and so forth. For those of us that like to get out and shoot M1 rifles, we're going to talk about cleaning and maintaining your M1 rifle. So here's an M1 rifle, U.S. rifle, caliber 30 M1. It's a 30-06 shoulder-fired, gas-operated, semi-automatic rifle. And let's talk about trying to take care of it. So we're going to take it down. Pretty easy done. Helps if it's cocked. Here we go. Helps if it's cocked. Drop this guy out and just pull that out. Lay that aside. Now, get it out of the stock, give it a little tap, break it loose, and it comes out of the stock just like that. Okay, we'll lay the stock aside for a moment, talk about the guts of it. It's interesting, the M1 rifle operates on two spring groups. The trigger spring group and the op rod spring group. Now the op rod spring group also operates the magazine group. So, you know, there are very few springs in this thing to wear out. There's one housed in this plunger cover right here. There's this spring gizmo right here that is your clip latch. That's this one here. Okay, and the spring that holds it together is the trigger guard. Okay, now let's talk about care and maintenance. Let's take her apart. So what we do is you have this op rod spring guide. Here's your op rod, there's your spring. There's your little pickle fork right there that operates the magazine. Pull that guy forward slightly, bring it up, and let it out. And there it is, just like that. Okay, and this little pickle fork operates on this little gizmo right here, which operates your magazine. Now, let's take the gas cylinder plug out of the end of it. Reach up here with this cool multi-tool is a World War II design, and it's a multi-tool that would have been issued with the M1 during the Second World War. Get your gas cylinder plug started out, and then just work it out. Bear with me a moment until I get enough of it screwed out to where you get a hold of it good. This is of the grenade launcher type. Okay, has a little tappet valve in the bottom of it, and then this is the cylinder plug retainer, and it comes off just like this. Gas cylinder plug comes off. Front ferrule comes off, straight off like that. And now you're ready to take the op rod off of it. Just pull that guy back until you hit the takedown point right here, and it falls off in your hand. And then the bolt can come out. Just lift that guy up, work it around until the firing pin will clear the bridge right here. So you have the firing pin here, and you have a bridge in here, and that bridge has a cut in it. I've seen guys pedal with M1 rifles, 30 caliber carbines, Mini 14s, BM59s, and everything else for hours trying to get the firing pin past the bridge. But it's very simple. Now, what's to clean? To clean is to everything. Everything needs to be brushed, everything needs to be solvented, everything needs to be clothed, you know. This raceway on both sides that guides the magazine follower needs to be clean. The inside back in here needs to be clean. You use what I call LSA toothbrush and solvent, clean that guy all out good. Okay, cloth it all out. Okay, but you're not done there. This rod is exposed to a large amount of carbon and grit and nastiness. The end of it is where the actual fire from the bore goes in and pushes back on this guy and makes it work. So it gets carboned up pretty good, and it's a different grade of steel than the op rod is. It's a high carbon, high tensile steel, heat resistant. The best way I found, this one's not too awful dirty even though I've shot it about 10 or 12 times. Best way I found to clean it is with solvent and a green Orlon. Okay, you take your green Orlon and you give it, just work on it with that thing, because that steel is a lot harder than that plastic. But that plastic is abrasive. Don't use it on anything else other than this, for the simple reason that it's abrasive and it'll take the bluing and the coating, finish, parkerizing, whatever, right off of it. All right, now, if you notice real close on camera, this guy's greasy. It's greasy for a reason. The M1 does not work well with light lubricant oils. The M1 is designed to be greased like a bearing. So you have an internal raceway in the receiver. It has to be greased. Not heavily, but it needs to be on there. You have an external raceway, and it needs to be greased. You have locking ears on the bolt, and they have to be greasy. And there's a reason for that. The friction is tremendous. This is a 30-06. When that action throws, it throws with a great deal of force. A lot more than, say, a similar type action like, you know, a Mini 14 or a 30 caliber carbine. So it needs to be well lubricated. And what do you lubricate it with? Well, you lubricate it with the right grease. These little grease pots, these little grease containers. Now, it has the correct grease in it to use on all standard U.S. military weapons that need to be greased, i.e. carbine, .45, and rifle. Okay? Now, where do you get them? Well, you get them off Amazon. Surplus stores have them. You know, they made dodecabillions of them during World War II, and there's a lot of them still around, and typically they cost about $0.10 a piece. You can buy them in lots from Amazon, you know, for $10 for basically a pickup truck load of them. But it has the correct viscosity of grease for use on U.S. weapons. This is all you should use. Okay, before we put this thing back together, let's talk about a few other things. You see something like this at a surplus store or at the show and you've got an M1 rifle? You see something like this? I'd pick it up if I could get it for the money. This is a combination tool from World War II for the M1 rifle. This is a combination tool from World War II for the M1 rifle. Okay? You've got a big screwdriver up here, which is for your gas cylinder plug removal. It also fits the butt plate screws. Okay? But that's what this is for. You know, and you have a combination tool out here on the end, and then you've got a brush that you can stick in the chamber like this. Work that guy back and forth like that. Okay? And pull it out of there. Turn it around, get the other side of it, push it back in there. See, and you can conveniently work it almost a complete half turn going into the locking groove. Okay? Cool tool. You see them around. They actually make replacement brushes for this. You pick them up, same place you collected this, you know. There's a cool little brush. This is original for the M1 from World War II production. It's a little cleaning brush, and you can get in, clean raceways with it, and so forth. Pretty cool. This is in the buttstock of mine. I have one of these. Okay, it's basically the tools to do your cleaning with. It's nice to have a barracks rod, or it's nice to have a solid rod. Now this is called a barracks rod, and it's a solid rod. You wouldn't carry this in combat. They'd have this in the barracks or in the garrison area, you know, for you to clean your weapons when you came in from the range. It'd be too inconvenient to carry this in the field. Okay, plans. I got a plan. This is called a plan. These started out in World War I, and what you would do is you have this thing, and one end of it would be the oiler with the little grease dauber, oil dauber on the end of it. The other end of it would hold your pull-through cord and jag. Okay, pull that guy out there like that, and you would have your pull-through cord, and I'm holding the camera and I'm talking uselessly about a pull-through cord and jag, which I don't have. And it's got a little buffer on the end of it so it doesn't rattle when it's in your stock. Solvents were available and still are. Solvent cans look like this. These are the sizes for the individual soldier. I don't know what was in World War II cleaning solvent, but I know it was rough. Whatever it was, you know. And then you have lube oil, medium, and then finally grease. These are the lubrications and solvents you'd use to maintain your weapon. Okay, let's put her back together right quick. Pretty easy to get back together. First things first, put the bolt back in and work your firing pin over. Yeah, right. Work the firing pin past the bridge cut. Okay. Put your op rod back on. What I generally do is go back here. Your op rod goes through here, through this little saddle, locks on there at the detent point, goes back forward. Turn your rifle over. Hit your mainspring, your op spring, stick it all the way back up in there. When you look at an M1 rifle, you're thinking about buying, you have an opportunity to take it apart, be looking at this thing carefully. It's not uncommon for this thing to break in 2 or 3 places and then snap weld itself back together, where you get the spring is wound back on itself at the break, and now the spring's too short. And you wonder why it don't work right. Now, it looks like it goes this way, but it actually goes this way. Work that guy back in there, and it's under a great deal of force. Put it into that guide, this guide right here. Now you're back together there. Come around the front, put your front furl back on. Make sure it's in there good. Gas cylinder back on the right way. Now the gas cylinder centers itself on these 3 splines, which made up to these 3 cuts. Right back there like that. Put that back on there. Put the 8 back on it. Remember, this always goes to the barrel. Take it all the way it'll go, and then back it up to where the cylinder plug will go in it. Put your cylinder plug back in there. You don't have to have the combination tool, but it helps. Kind of handy to have it. And you get your big screwdriver, tighten it up. It doesn't have to be extremely tight. It needs to be tight enough it don't fall out. There we go. I'm back over here. Install your rifle back in the stock. Now, this piece of metal corresponds with that. Set it there like that. Put your rifle back together. It's almost impossible to get this right when the sling is fixed. So you have to loosen that guy back up. We'll sling out a little bit. Now, got that out of the way. Now, if you look at this thing, there are two cuts in the lower receiver in the magazine well area. Those correspond to these two locking lugs, okay? Those locking lugs have to go into those cuts, and it moves slightly to the rear to put the trigger housing back in it. So it starts out looking like it's not going to fit, and then it does. Do a function check on your rifle. Come up here, pull your action back. Don't get your fingers caught in it. Push down on the follower. Pull the trigger. Let the bolt go forward. And see if the trigger snaps when you let go of it. That gun works. Okay. Now that we got all that done, let's talk about a few things. Ammunition for the M1 rifle. I happen to have right here in front of me a World War II bandolier. Pretty cool. It's even got the lot card in it. Even got the lot card in it. That's pretty cool. Types of ammunition available for the M1 that you can commonly get. M2 ball. That's this stuff right here. This is on a 1903 stripper clip, but that's what it looks like, M2 ball. M2 ball on the 8-round M-block clip. You can't use the M1 rifle as a semi-automatic rifle without M-block clips. Where do you get them? Well, you can get them from CMP. If you got a rifle from CMP, you can probably get them from CMP. You can get them at the gun show. They're $4, $5, $6, $7 a piece. I recently bought a lot of them off of eBay. I got 56 clips for $42. We would consider that a bargain. If you can get them for $1 a piece, you're doing good. Armor piercing. It's not in a pistol, so it's not considered illegal to have armor piercing ammunition. Armor piercing ammunition is loaded to a slightly higher velocity than standard ammunition. That's so you shoot it out of a .30 caliber machine gun and get down there 1,000 yards away and still have a little get up go to it. Blanks. You're a reenactor, thinking about reenacting, this is the way to go. Red tips. They haven't manufactured these since 1967, so they're getting hard to find. Original packaging for ammunition. Blank ammunition in cartons. This is Twin Cities Arsenal, no longer in business. M2 ball, .30 caliber, Remington Arms Company, Bridgeport, Connecticut, made in the United States of America. That's that right there. It's good stuff. You see that? You still see this around. I mean, it comes into the country from Turkey or South Korea, whatever, and the original sealed tins. One company just re-imported, hundreds of thousands of rounds of it. So you see it. It's around. Well, all right then. That's about the size of it for the old carrying and cleaning of the old M1 rifle. Get you some M2 ball and get out there and get to working on it. Hey, we'll see y'all when we see you. God bless everybody, and God bless America.